Hello students, good morning. Myself Subha. How are you? I hope you are all fine and safe at home. Welcome back to online class, grade 9, social science, that economics unit 2. Okay, economics unit 2, today we are going to learn. Before that, once we can recall the first lesson, previous lesson. Previous lesson I have completed, isn't it? Previous lesson about development, understanding development, perspective measurement and sustainability, isn't it? All the questions also I have marked and here. I am thinking so you have learned well. Okay, so please students study well. That lesson, the previous lesson about the introduction, what is development we have learned, what are the indicators of development, what are the indicators of economic development, and about human development index also we have learned. Its headquarters is situated in Shastri Bhavan in New Delhi, and about sustainability of development also we have learned, and renewable and non-renewable resources, solar power in India. So Tamil Nadu is the state with the highest solar capacity in India, isn't it? It is the one of the leading solar power producing states in India. Next, about environmental policies in India also we have learned. So what was the duty of each and every citizens? They want to protect and improve the natural environment. Okay. Next, list of environmental act also we have learned, isn't it? Next, the Wildlife Protection Act 1972 is aimed to protect protection to wild animals and birds. The book An Uncertain Glory was written by Professor Amartya Sen. These are all the things we have learned in the previous lesson, isn't it? Today we can come to our new lesson, employment in India and Tamil Nadu. Employment in India and Tamil Nadu. Employment. What do you mean by this employment? Work, isn't it? So according to this lesson, in Tamil Nadu and in India. Okay, employment in Tamil Nadu and India. We are going to learn. What are the learning objectives? Employment structure in India, organized and unorganized sector, distinction between public sector and private sector, changing employment pattern, to appreciate the case study format. About these things only we are going to learn. So today only I will explain small two topics, introduction and employment structure in India. Okay, introduction and employment structure in India, and also 3 question answer I will mark and give. Okay, employment structure in India and 3 question answer I will mark and give. So first we can see introduction. See, we all know what is our basic need. What is our basic need? Food, cloth and shelter, isn't it? So what are our basic needs? Every human being need all these 3 things. Apart from that, now one more new thing, one more essential thing was added. Do you know what is that? That is employment. Okay. So what are the basic needs for each and every human being? Food, cloth and shelter. So apart from that, in the present world, one more important need also added, that is employment. So in order to survive in the world, we all need employment. Why we need employment? To earn money, isn't it? So in order to survive in the world, we need money. Money is very, very important. So man with money is hero, man without money is zero, isn't it? So we all need money. So money is the important thing for each and everyone, isn't it? Next, those who engaged in economic activities in whatever capacity, whether they are getting high income or low income, they are all called employees. Okay, those who are engaged in economic activities are called employees. So, who is called employers? People who employ these workers and they will pay reward for their work are called the employers. So, students, did you understand the difference between employee and employers? Employee means those who are engaged in economic activities are called employees. Those are working people. Okay, and who is called as a employers? People who employ these workers and pay reward for their work are called the employers. One who is keeping the workers and they are paying money for them, isn't it? Reward. That is, they are called as employers. Are you clear? Next, labor force of the economy is the number of people in the country who work and also capable of working. Who is called as labor force in the country? Labor force is the number of people in the country who work and also capable of working are called as labor force. Labors. For example, you can take the age group of 15 to 60 years for the calculation of workforce. Okay, 15 to 60 years for the calculation of workforce. So, person who are less than 15 years are considered as children. And the person who have crossed 60 years of age are excluded as they are not physically fit to undertake production occupation. So, above 60 years, they are old people. They are unable to work. So, below 15 years, they are children. Above 60 years, they are excluded from the work. Isn't it? So, in middle person only the laborers, they can work. They have the capacity to work. So, if larger percentage of population is accounted by children and old age person means, then what was the progress of the country? It will be very, very small. Okay, the working force is less means the income of the country will be also reduced. Besides, the small working force will have to maintain larger non-working force for feeding out of the small national product. Do you understand? For example, you can take your family itself. In your family, father, mother, 2 children, grandmother, grandparents, uncle, auntie, like that big family have means. There, uncle, auntie, grandmother, grandfather, they are all old age people. They can't work, they can't go outside, they are old people. So, old people, 4 people are there. And children, 3 children. And a mother is there and 1 father. So, 1 father, that father alone want to work and he want to earn money and he want to give food for all these people. How many people? 4 plus 2 children. 6, 7, 8. Isn't it? Totally 8 members. For 8 members, father and mother too. For 8 members, only 1 person's income. Whether it is enough? No, isn't it? Like that, if one country is having more children and more old people means whether the country can be developed, whether the country will get more income? No. Isn't it? Besides, the small working force will have to maintain larger non-working force for feeding out of the small national product. Do you understand? So, do you understand about this? This is only the employment. So, what is that? If there is, who is called as a employees? One who is engaged in economic activities. Okay, one who is working. That person is called as a employees. Who is called as a employer? People who employ those workers and pay reward for their work are called the employers. Are you clear? Next, we will take the age group from 15 to 60. There, below 15 years are considered as children. above 60 years are considered as a old people. They are not able to work. Isn't it? So if larger percentage of population is accounted by children and old age person means then the progress of the country would be very slow as the working force is very small. Besides the small working force, because of small working force, what will happen? Have to maintain large non-working force for feeding out of the small national product. Are you clear? Next, employment structure in India. See, can you see one picture? What you understand from this picture? It was divided into 3 stages, isn't it? 3 sectors: primary sector, secondary sector, tertiary sector. We all know the nature of employment in India is a multi-dimensional. Okay, the nature of employment in India is a multi-dimensional. Multi-dimensional means different ways, different employment works are there. So some get employment throughout the year, some others get employed for only a few months in a year. Okay, for example, you can take mason. For mason, few days only they will get the job. At the same time, if you take any government officers, they will get continuously. Throughout their year, they will get the job. Like that, the nature of employment in India is a multi-dimensional nature. So, the economy is classified into 3 sectors: primary sector, secondary sector and tertiary sector. Are you clear? Primary, secondary, tertiary. You have learned in the 8th standard also. So, primary sector is also called as agriculture sector. And secondary sector is also called as industrial sector. And the tertiary sector is also called as service sector. Okay. So, primary sector include agriculture, forest, mining, fishery, etc. This secondary sector means the production of goods and services, like that. Tertiary sector, service, doctors, engineers, collectors, they only include under the tertiary sectors. The structure of employment denotes the number of workers engaged in different sectors of the economy. This picture shows the structure of employment. It denotes the number of workers engaged in different sectors of the economy. Though the occupational pattern varies from one country to another, and one can find in developing countries like India that a large workforce will be engaged in primary sector mostly, where we can say in most of the developing countries, most of the people are working in primary sector. Okay. Next, like India, in India, where they are giving more importance for the primary sector only, that is the agriculture sector, isn't it? While a small proportion in secondary and tertiary sector. Okay, whereas in well-developed countries, the proportion of workforce engaged in agriculture will be very small and majority of the labor force will be in the industrial and tertiary sector. So, in India, mostly, where many people are working in primary sector. At the same time, in other countries, like US, China, Japan and all, we can see more people are working in the secondary sector and the tertiary sectors. Okay. So, employment has always featured as an important element of development policy in India. Okay, employment growth has increased at an average rate of 2% during the past 4 decades, since 1972 to 1973. So, past 40 years, between 1972 to 73, this employment growth has increased only 2%. Okay, little by slowly only it was increasing. So, in the medieval period, Firoz Shah Tughlaq, the Sultan of Delhi, had set up an employment bureau to solve the unemployment problem. So, what happened means the king, Firoz Shah Tughlaq, he was the king of Delhi, had set up an employment bureau. For what purpose he set up an employment bureau? To solve the unemployment problem. Okay, so who has set up Employment Bureau to solve the unemployment problem? That is Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Who was Firoz Shah Tughlaq? He was a Sultan of Delhi. Okay, now I will mark and give 3 question answer. Please take down. First question, give short answer. What is labor force of the economy? What is labor force of the economy? That is page number 293. Page number 293. So, under the heading Introduction, second para, labor force of the economy is the number of people in the country who work and also capable of working. Who work and also capable of working. That is the first question answer. Okay. Second question, why are children and old age above 60 years are not considered for computation of workforce? Page number 293. The same introduction, second para. Persons, second para, fifth line. Persons who are less than 15 years are considered as children, and persons who have crossed 60 years are age as excluded as they are not physically fit to undertake productive occupation. If larger percentage of population is accounted by children and old age person, then the progress of the country would be very slow as the working force is very small. That means second question answer. Third question, what are the 3 sectors of an economy? That is page number 293. Under the heading Employment Structure in India. Second para, the economy is classified into 3 sectors. Primary or agriculture sector, secondary or industrial sector, and tertiary or service sector. That's all. Okay. So today's lesson, once again I will recall about employment in India and Tamil Nadu. Introduction we have learned. In that introduction, or who is called as an employee and who is called as an employer. Employee means what? One who is engaged in economic activity, one who is working, okay, for the wage. Next, who is called as a employers? One who employ the workers and pay reward. One who is paying money, giving money to the workers is called as a employers. Okay. What are the basic need? Food, cloth and shelter. Apart from that, one more important thing is employment, isn't it? Next, labor force of the economy is the number of people in the country who work and also capable of working. Next, person who are less than 15 years are considered children, and person who are across 60 years of age are excluded as they are not physically fit to undertake productive occupation. If larger percentage of population are accounted by children, old age persons, and then progress of the country would be very slow as the working force is very small. Next, employment structure in India also we have learned, isn't it? How this structure was divided? It was divided into 3: primary sector, secondary sector and tertiary sectors. Okay. This much only we have learned today. So please students, only 3 questions I mark and you please study that thoroughly and write and see also. Thank you students.